Alright, so we're back with more Demon Slayer this week, and obviously stuff is still going down. We go back to Murichiro Tokito. I've actually been rewatching some old episodes from previous Demon Slayer stuff, so I saw a couple episodes from season 1, and then the the finale of the Mugen Train arc, and then the finale of the Entertainment District arc, so I'm kind of like fresh on a couple of details. A little bit, not everything, obviously, but I also did a little bit of reading because I was confused about a couple of things. But pretty much, we're back with Demon Slayer for this week's episode, and Muichiro is, trying to save a couple of people because he's trying to get like a new sword, and presumably I'm thinking it's the new sword that was in the training doll that Tanjiro was training with in a few episodes ago, and I think that's what they're trying to get him to use, or maybe he's talking about just a completely different sword in general. I'm not entirely sure which sword he's talking about. I don't know if it's just a sword that this particular swordsmith was working specifically for Murichiro, or if it's the sword from the doll. But that was the sword that Haganesuka was the one that he was going to be working on, so I'm a little confused on some details. But before he can even get his new sword, pretty much, he runs into the upper 5 Kizuki, and it's Gyoko, and obviously he's trying to figure out like what's this demon's blood demon art, what are his abilities, and the entire time Gyoko's kind of funny because he's like talking about like artistic things. He's like kind of like one of those type of characters, and he's trying to show off like this piece of artwork that he created. And it's really messed up because he pretty much took a whole bunch of like swordsmiths from the Sword Village, and he put them all together. He like stabbed them with like the swords that they created, and he's talking about like the calluses that they have on their hands from creating all these swords. And he's like, oh yeah, by the way, if you twist this one sword a particular way, you can hear their screams. And it's really messed up, but it honestly fits the character to do something like that. And it's a little funny. It's pretty dark, but it's pretty funny because it perfectly suits the character to be that messed up in the head because he's a freaking demon. But Murichiro, by the end of his portion of the episode, is trapped in like this water prison, and he's trying to have to get out. We also see that he's remembering a couple of other memories as well. Not everything, but we actually see him expressing more emotions than he used to show before, which I think is the whole point of why he's trying to remember and trying to recollect a lot of the old memories that he used to have when he was younger, because he's so cold and calculated, but now he's like showing a lot more emotion than he used to before, which is very strange for the character, which was also kind of strange because previously before, when we see him in season 1 with the other Hashira, he's just like, he's the whole gag about him is that he's like very forgetful about a lot of things, which I guess if you really think about it is still in character with him because he's trying to remember things that he had previously forgotten about before in his life. So I guess that fits. Mitsuri ends up showing up in the episode, and she saves a whole bunch of the villagers within the village, so she does her part in the episode. But then pretty much the rest of it is centered around Tanjiro, and he's trying to escape the other demon that's there, the upper 4, I believe. I forgot what his name is, but he's like split up into multiple demons, and Genya's still fighting the other, like the 4th one that he split up into. And we don't see him until like the very end of the episode, by the way, which we'll talk about that in a second. But we see Nezuko like grabbing onto the sword, and it's obviously a very bad thing for her to do because she's a demon, and the whole thing about the demons is that the only thing that can kill them is, getting sliced by a Nichiren sword, which is what Tanjiro is currently using. And we actually see more like behind the connection between Tanjiro and why he has this. I just hit my microphone. Why he has this black sword, and it's in conjunction and to his ties with Yoriichi. And Yoriichi is a very pivotal character because he's the only person in the entire existence of the world to have gotten close to killing Muzan, who's the king of the demons, obviously. And we see more further connections between Tanjiro and Yoriichi. And this is what I was talking about before in the beginning of the episode. Like, I was doing some reading of like stuff that I was confused about, and Yoriichi and Kokushiba are the ones who are related with each other, but Yoriichi in no way whatsoever is related to Tanjiro and the Kamado family, other than giving the Kamado family the Hanafuda earrings that they wear, which he previously wore because they thought he was deaf, and the Demon Slayer mark that Tanjiro has on his head, that was a mark that Yoriichi also had on his forehead as well, and that gave him the extreme power boost. And within the episode, we actually see him reference the fact that he activated the mark in the climactic fight against Yutaro and the Entertainment District arc, and he activates it willingly for the first time within the episode, as well as we see that Nezuko uses her blood demon art that creates the flames. She puts her blood on the sword and activates it, and the entire sword is on fire, and then it changes color to red, which previously Yoriichi's sword did that before in the past. And because of the fact that the Kizuki have more concentrated, higher concentrated blood of Muzan, that allows them to be able to see previous memories of what Muzan had experienced before in the past. So they see Tanjiro, and he activates the demon mark, and his sword is on fire and it's red, and then he uses the Hinokami Kagura dance that was also passed down by Yoriichi, I believe. And it reminds him of the fact that he looks like Yoriichi, and Tanjiro then does like this huge slashing attack, and he annihilates all three of the heads on the three demons that are split up together. And then after after the flames are extinguished, he then sees Genya, and Genya at the very end of the episode, we think that he is able to slash the head off of the final demon, but then he turns around and he's not really looking like himself. Either something happened to Genya and he's like sort of like in this possessed state by the demon, or something happened to him, or what else specifically happened to him, I have no fucking idea. Anyways, this episode was really animated really well, and I kind of want to talk about more about the CGI, because I feel like since we saw more of that, and like specifically towards when Mitsuri was trying to save the chief of the village, who's also the one who created her sword, by the way. What's it called? What am I trying to say? I think more people are going to try to complain about the CGI in the episode even further, and it's like, the CGI isn't bad. I've seen worse CGI in anime before, but I think because of the fact that these like giant fish creatures are supposed to be really creepy, it fits, and it looks really good because they're supposed to be like outlandish and really creepy looking. But I think I've said this before, I just think that more people are gonna like complain about it, and I just want to say something really quick about it, because people's complaints are stupid. Demon Slayer has been using CGI since the first season. No one complained about it then, but they're complaining about it now because, I don't know, I guess people are just entitled to thinking that animation studios shouldn't use it. But then again, they are going to go watch the new Pixar movie, which is entirely made out of 3D animation, so whatever. It doesn't really matter. I don't have much else to say about the episode. It was really good. It was animated really freaking well, especially at the end with Tanjiro's attack. Like, it looked absolutely insane. I can't believe how amazing that looked. Animated really well. We see some more story beats and character beats with some of the characters. Mitsuri only shows up a little bit in the episode, which kind of sucks because, like I said before, I kind of want to know more about her as well, and like what she had to go through up until this point. But at the same time, Murichiro has a lot of character development that he has to go through, and I think seeing more of that is also really important. But regardless, that's pretty much all I have to say about the episode. Seeing more of Tanjiro's connection towards Yoriichi is also really interesting as well, since we only get to see a few bits and pieces of it, and it sort of seems like he can activate the demon mark on his own from now on, and to a certain extent he can activate it on his own, obviously not completely, but I guess we're gonna have to wait and see what the development of him using the demon mark on his own, as well as him learning more about the Kagura dance, and the fact that it's pretty much the origins of all the other breathing techniques. Which, by the way, I think Yoriichi, I think it said that he was the one who created all the breathing techniques. Well, then again, the sun breathing technique is the derivative version and the beginning of all the other breathing techniques that were created. So anyway, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say. Yeah, I said it already before, but yeah. If you liked the video though, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more, please be sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys next one. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'm out. Peace. Holy fuck, it's hot.